covered parking for that antique car, boat, or RV. Due to our recent expansion, we offer units that range in size from as small as a bedroom closet to as big as a one-car garage. All of our units are inside and climate controlled with 24-hour access and security. Our leases run month to month, so you're not locked into a long-term commitment, giving you the flexibility to move your belongings out the minute you purchase your new home. Stop by today or give us a call, 530-8003. That's 530-8003. Jessup Premium Storage.
The cool, clean, and secure.
At Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, 0% for 72 months continues on the best-selling truck in America, Ford F-150. Our selection is good and many are on the way. Two-wheel drives, four-wheel drives, XLs, XLTs, Lariats, or King Ranch models. Stop the search. Come to Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. Timmy Rozier, Joey Lee, Gerald Stone, Bart Duncan, Carlos Rollison, and the newest member of our sales team, Randy Williamson, are ready to serve you. We have free oil changes on new Fords while in 36,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. So come to the house at Good Service Built for great service and good deals. We'll pay top money for your trade and give huge Mike Birch Ford discounts. Two-wheel drives, four-wheel drives, XLs, XLTs, Lariats, or King Ranch models. Stop the search. Come to Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear. All this with Ford rebates and low interest rates. It's easy to deal. This is Sammy Dixon saying thank you. Thank you very much for your business. When you have an accident, you, not the insurance company, chooses the body shop, and you only need one estimate. All you have to do is call Jerome Riles at B&C Collision Center in downtown Scriven to deal with the adjusters and insurance company. Whether it's a little ding or a major crash, that B&C Collision Center across from Waz and Cabinet Shop in Scriven deal with the insurance company so you don't have to. Call them at 579-2274. That's 579-2274.
And good morning. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO-FM in Jessup, 105.5 on your FM dial. Butch here with you. Friday morning football, Friday, 18th day of September. We are looking for a 30% chance of showers today. Just partly cloudy tonight, so it should be okay for tonight's football game. Around 84 today, a little breezy. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high tomorrow of 89 with a 20% chance of the wet stuff. Sunday, sunny with a high of around 93. The Omaha river level is at, let's see here, at 4.9 feet and rising. It is 8 o'clock, and it is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by B&C Collision Center in Scriven, by Jessup Premium Storage out here on the Waycross Highway, and also brought to you by Parker Insurance and Realty, located on Macon Street in downtown Jessup. Bob, we got a very special guest in this morning, someone that you spend some time with every Friday night during football season.
He's my color man, but he's also the hospital CEO, Joe Wright. He wants to talk football and hospital, but Joe, always good to see you.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Butch.
You got our dinner plans set up yet? I mean, he's my...
Not totally yet. A long day of work yesterday, so we'll try to get that done. We'll get that taken care of. Don't worry, I'll have you fed well.
Well, first we want to talk about the hospital. Big event coming up in October. We've been promoting that. Yes. The Breast Cancer Awareness Month, City Hall. Tuesday, the mayor signed the proclamation. They're going to have the pink out of the fountain on the October 8th at 1:30 down there, big ceremony. But tell us, this has been going on, I think, the 6th year, I think the flyer says, for the hospital. But again, it's an important event. Again, they state and they emphasize that breast cancer is caught early enough. It's a treatable and beatable disease. And there's been a lot of success stories here in Wayne County and across the nation. But it was amazing, the stats they talked about how many women are affected with breast cancer. So tell us about how this came up 4 years ago and the big event, and the stress again, they have to have physicians.
It's the girls, we call it Girls Night Out program, and what we've done is during the Tuesdays and Thursdays of each month, during the month of October, we are going to have mammogram hours extended. Last appointment will be at 7:30, so we'll be done by 8. And what happens is we're doing this so the ladies who may be working and can't maybe get there during normal hours, we can make it more conducive for them to be able to come after hours and do that. We've getting a great response to it. Go see your physician if it's time for your annual mammogram. If you've never had a mammogram, you're over the age of 40. Go see your physician, talk to your physician. If your physician feels you need to get a mammogram, he or she will give you an order, and then you can set up your appointment to get that very important screening test done.
What age should they do it? And that's the question I keep asking.
Well,
at what age should they have the mammogram done?
I think the rule of thumb is usually somewhere around 40, but there's also other factors like maybe family history and things of that nature. So what I would recommend is if you have a question, sit down, make an appointment, go talk to your physician, and let you and your physician discuss what's the proper path to do, whether it's to get a mammogram or not. That's really something you talk to your physician about.
What else is going on at the hospital? I know it's been crowded lately. That's what we're saying.
Very, very busy at Wayne Memorial. All of our service lines over the last really 4 or 5 months have just exploded. It's not just one particular area, it's everything. Our volumes are record setting. We're hitting numbers that we've never hit in the history of the organization. So we've been very, very busy. Our staff has done an excellent job. We've seen business from outside this county increase dramatically. It continues to rise each and every month. So we're very fortunate that we have a lot of people that put their confidence and faith in us to take care of them. This month already, it's busy. Yesterday, I think we did 26 surgeries yesterday alone. That's a lot. That's a lot of surgery being done. And again, surgery is just one of many, many, many items that are just really, really busy and exploding. So we're thankful. We're thankful that people put their trust in us.
Well, speaking of surgeries, I happened to be a day guest of y'all's last week with Dr. Chassé, the ear, nose, and throat specialist, doing basically what I called a roto-rooter on my nose and sinuses and stuff like that, just getting all the inflammation there that was causing me all kinds of problems for many, many years. Basically what he said, it's a mess up there from the CAT scan that y'all did. And he confirmed that once he got through, it was even worse than he thought. But I got a nice thank you card here from the hospital from the day surgery. It says, thank you, Charles W. Hubbard, for giving Wayne Memorial Hospital Surgical Services the opportunity to be of service to you. We hope your visit with us was more than satisfactory. Please feel free to call us with questions, compliments, or concerns regarding your stay with us. Once again, thank you. And members of the, I like this, the member of the one-day surgery staff and the Department of Surgery staff. It's got several names here. Mm-hmm. Got a couple of cards here with Pamela White and Janet Wise, and you got several of them other there. I can't read all their names, but in there. But and then I got a follow-up phone call a couple of days ago. Want to know how I was feeling, how it went, any concerns, that kind of stuff like that. And that's just that extra special care that I think patients, like me, like to see from your healthcare provider. That you just don't go in and you leave and they forget about you. They continue to follow it and make sure you're doing okay.
Well, but it's a privilege to be able to take care of folks. When folks come in and are trusting you with their health, that's a pretty big responsibility, and we don't take that lightly. And it's it really is an honor that folks want to utilize us and our staff and our physicians to help take care of them. And again, we don't take that lightly, and we're very conscious of that each and every day. And I'm glad you had a good experience. Dr. Chassé has been doing a lot of those surgeries with people's sinuses and has had some excellent outcomes. His office also, he's been doing these laser surgeries and a lot of ear surgery. And we've
laser surgeries in ear?
No, laser in the sinuses, but
sinuses.
also not laser,
okay.
Laser in the sinuses. Okay. And also some ear surgery. And what he's found is he's had a lot of patients come to his office because he does hearing aids. And
yes, he's doing hearing. I did hearing tests there also at his office.
And he's finding that he's actually been able to improve the levels of some folks' hearing by doing some of these ear cases without having to give them hearing aids.
Good.
So we've run a gamut of different things through our ear, nose, and throat program. But living in South Georgia with all the pollen and everything, sinuses are a big issue for a lot of folks. So I'm glad it worked out well for you.
I just wanted to compliment you on the way they treated me that day. Everything, they explained everything to me. They were all nice and friendly. And then afterwards during the recovery was good. And then, of course, the follow-up phone call and thank you note was just that extra special icing on the cake. Just a great job, great experience of having surgery last week at day surgery at Wayne Memorial Hospital.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Your staff's doing good there, Joe.
They do a great job. All the staff there is very professional, very dedicated, extremely committed to taking care of people. You know, we talk about the girls' night out. It's great. We're able to offer those tests after hours, 8 o'clock, but there has to be staff that has to reroute their schedules to accommodate that. And we never hear any complaints, anything that needs to be done for patients. It's all about patient care, and our staff and folks do a great job of taking that to heart.
Okay.
And you're constantly out recruiting other physicians as well. Talk about the recent physicians that came in that you mentioned, Tom Chester, but there's others as well.
We have Dr. Joey Christmas, general surgeon, who's been with us since March, doing a great job with Joey Christmas. That's okay. Christmas came in March. So great general surgeon. He and Dr. Pham are working together for our general surgery program. Also, hopefully here in the next 30 days or so, we're going to have a neurosurgery program, first time at Wayne Memorial, where we'll be able to do some low-risk, low-complicated back procedures for your spine. We're going to be working, affiliating in conjunction with the Savannah Neurological Institute to come here and maybe one day a week do some surgery and see some patients here locally and be able to do some procedures that we can do here instead of folks having to drive to Savannah, one-day procedures. So that's going to be a nice new service line. And then also we've had our cardiologist, our full-time cardiologist, Dr. Gary Stern, who has been going gangbusters. He has been extremely busy inside the hospital and in the office. So we're really excited that as we've navigated through the economy and healthcare reform, that we're actually growing our footprint and growing our service line. And we hope to continue to do this going forward.
How's the partnership still going with St. Joseph in terms of cost savings, physician sharing, information sharing?
It's been excellent. That's how we were able to get this thing together with the Savannah Neurological Institute. It's really been a nice thing for us to be able to have those resources and be able to have someone bridge those gaps maybe in getting to know these folks and communication to be able to bring things here home. Because if we can do it here in an efficient, safe manner, I mean, heck, driving to Savannah, you know, at $2 and change a gallon and keep those dollars here. And what's very important is it's obviously we want to make sure that our local folks can do as much here. But if we can get people from other counties to come in and drive here and spend money in our local establishments, I mean, all the better. We've done a few talking to folks when we find out they're from Liberty County coming to Wayne Memorial, and they'll tell you they'd much rather drive to Jessup than drive from Hinesville to Savannah. So if we can bridge that gap as well, I mean, that just helps everyone.
Right. You just joined us, CEO Hospital Joe Arati in the studios with a special guest. Also my color man for the fourth year?
Fourth year, Wayne County football.
And you wanted to talk football.
Let's talk some football.
You just went to Soldier Field, Chicago. How was that trip?
It was fantastic.
The Bears and the Packers.
It was fantastic. Yeah, it was fantastic.
When they're hanging Jay Cutler and Evans.
Oh, wow. They don't like that guy at all. Let me tell you. They booed him before the game even started, before the season even started.
That's pretty bad to be the quarterback of a team and get booed. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you threw, a couple interceptions, they booed him. I mean, they booed him. I mean, just because he walked on the field, they booed him. I mean, he didn't even have time to do anything bad yet. But that was quite an experience to go, and just the history, Chicago Bears, Monsters to Midway, all the great players. It's just very historical, and to be able to see the Packers and Bears, one of the oldest rivalries, or maybe the oldest rivalry in the NFL, was pretty neat.
I was listening to AM 1370 Fox Sports after that. After the first weekend of the games, they gave a statistic that in every game that Jay Cutler's played the Packers, he's thrown at least one interception.
And he threw a bad one this past time. They were driving for the tying score, and he threw a bad pick. And
they're paying him a lot of money there.
They're paying. That's why they can't get rid of him. I mean, it was really. I mean, to tell you how bad it is, and I hope his family doesn't go to the game, because we saw a couple of these T-shirts that had a Jay Cutler's face on it, and it had a gun pointed to his head, and the caption was, $20 says he misses. I said, oh my goodness gracious.
Oh boy. We love football down here in the South, but in college football has always been the big thing in the South, and pros, we can take them or come or whatever, but pro football up north is just a tradition. It is. You can go to a Jacksonville Jaguar game and sit like when the Philadelphia Eagles come in town, the Chicago Bears come into town, and if you sit where a lot of their fans sit, which I have in the past here in the club seat area, they have songs, they have dances, they have a tradition there. They're just passionate about their football, and in many of these families up there, the tickets are wheeled from one generation to the next.
Sure, absolutely. When you look at, there's really not a lot. If you look at Philadelphia, I mean, okay, who's playing on Saturday in the Philadelphia area? Temple, University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, okay. They're gonna wait to that pro game on Sunday, and same thing in the Chicago market and a lot of those markets. But lot of Green Bay fans, Chicago fans, really dedicated NFL fans. Those two franchises.
Yeah. Again, let's talk of a team that's near to everybody's heart, University of Georgia. And the coaches said, I talked to Jody Grooms. I said, please tell me you instructed Grayson not to follow social media because he's taking a beating. And it's just interesting to hear all the different talk heads. I told somebody on Saturday I had to just turn off Gary Danielson. I had to hit it on mute because he kept talking about the Virginia situation. I said, well, look, he graduated from Virginia in 3 years with a degree in anthropology. But, it looks to me like they've got him instructed to not really throw the ball right now. I mean, like somebody said, when you got Chubb and Michelle and Marshall back there, he doesn't have to do much. But eventually they're going to take the training wheels off and let him throw the ball. Rick said this week, look, he throws it well in practice. If we play as well in practice as we do in the game, we'll be fine. So your thoughts on what's going on with the quarterback situation? Every media outlet's trying to cause the controversy.
You can't win. If he throws 25 times, they're going to say, well, why didn't he give it to Chubb 25 times and Michelle 20 times and Marshall 20 times? So no matter what you do, you can't win. Put all that to the side. The University of Georgia has played 7 quarters. They're averaging 41 points a game. There should not be any kind of fun. Okay, someone threw 5 incomplete passes. Well, what's more important? Averaging 41 points a game or being 4 out of those 5. So I mean, it's a very tough position to have to play. You're just scrutinized. Everything you do, a lot of times you're the hero, and maybe you hadn't done that much, but when it goes bad, it goes bad. But we know Grayson. He's not worried about any of this stuff. If you want to talk about someone who's tried and tested for everything he went through at Virginia, I mean, this is not anything he hasn't experienced, and this is not anything that young man won't overcome and do just fine. Again, 41 points a game, 7 quarters.
Yeah, we all know that the most popular person on the football team is the backup quarterback.
That's right.
Yeah, so
that's right.
He's going to be fine. Of course, he just it's just the line. What scares me this week is the betting line. I mean, I don't know what they're smoking in Vegas, but 17 points. I mean, Spurs had our number.
Colorado.
He's won 4 of the last 5.
Tax-free day to Colorado is when they did this at that line.
I saw Paul Feinbaum. He was talking to Jesse Palmer, and Jesse Palmer's talking about something about Spurrier in Georgia. Spurrier has their number. Spurrier gets his game moves up. He said when he played for him at Florida, he said he'd come in there that Monday and he had the game plan already lined out and how they're going to exploit Georgia's defense. He said, look, Spurrier ups his games when he plays Georgia. He says, don't be surprised if this is the typical South Carolina, Georgia, knockdown, dry guy comes down to the fourth quarter. So I'm scared to death going into Athens Saturday because, I mean, Spurrier's he lost to Kentucky again. This is a do-or-die game for him in the SEC East. Like I said, he's had our number 4 the last 5 times. It worries me. Look at I'm sure they got on the bulletin board. They said they polled the nation. What's the chances that South Carolina win? It was 90% Georgia, 10% South Carolina. So they got more bulletin board material than you can shake a stick at. So your thoughts on Saturday's game? You're going to be there as well. So is it going to be then again, my friend says, the people in Vegas, they know something we don't know. So are we going to blow them out? Is it a blowout? Or are we going to just run it down their throat like Kentucky did?
When you look at it, you look at a team that just lost to Kentucky at home, who's traditionally one of the bottom-tier SEC teams. They lost their starting quarterback, who really wasn't very good to begin with, let's be honest. And their defense is porous against the run.
Right, they got shredded.
So if you look at those 3 things, and I'm just a guy in Vegas who's going to look at that, I can see where you would initially say this is a not 16 and a half, 9, 10, 11-point favorite. But then you have to bring in that intangible, which is a rivalry game, which is what you just absolutely astutely said, that South Carolina right now has got Georgia's number. You got to look at those intangibles, and a team with its back against the wall, no matter how good or bad they are, no matter how good or bad of a team they're playing against, is always very dangerous. And South Carolina has their backs up against the wall today.
It's just interesting. They're writing Steve Spurrier's obituary already. They're crushing Feinbaum because Feinbaum just saying, looking at their schedule, looking at their team. They're not the typical South Carolina talented team. They don't have the Lattimore. They don't have the Clowney. They don't have a lot of great athletes. So looking at their schedule, Feinbaum thinks they're going to go about 500, and he thinks that's the Spurrier's final season. So all the South Carolina fans are calling in, giving their opinion. Some are saying he's correct. Some are already announcing who the next coach is. One guy called in and said Mark Adine and Jake Gruden's going to be the next coach of South Carolina. So
who, John Gruden?
John Gruden said for Monday Night Football.
John Gruden's been rumored to have every job from Tampa High School to the Raiders.
He really wanted the Tennessee job, but it didn't come up. And so they said he wants to get back in coaching. He's got a great gig at Monday Night Football, but it should be an interesting game. I think Grayson's going to be fine. I think they do take the gloves off eventually.
But why? I mean,
I throw the ball down the field. He'll be fine. He's got great receivers, but if you can turn around and hand to Chubb and Michelle and they run it for 400 yards against that's all we're going to do.
Right. I mean, listen, it's about scoring points. I mean, last time I checked, you didn't win based on how many passes you threw or how many passes you completed. You won based on how many points you scored. And again, I'm just going to go back to it, 41 points a game.
I just know he's happy. I said he's 2-0. Virginia's 0-2. Somebody needs to check Virginia. They're not doing too well. So I think he's in a better spot. He's got a Heisman Trophy running back behind him. I like they had a debate somewhere on one of the talk shows before the game. I think it was the first weekend of the season. The guy that hosts the show with Tebow and him. Anyway, he was just dogging Grayson. And Greg McElroy, the quarterback for Alabama, said, he said, do you know the last time an offensive player from the University of Virginia was drafted in the NFL? He said, I had no idea. He said, we'll try 1996. It's been a long time since Virginia put an offensive player in the NFL. Yeah.
But all that stuff is in the rear view. That's old stuff. That's behind everything. Now it's just time to look forward. And this is a big game for Georgia today. This game is so important, obviously, for so many reasons here now. But this is a very important game in recruiting because you'll have a lot of recruits there. This is a game for Georgia to flex its muscles and really be able to solidify themselves as front runner in the East, but also solidify themselves as being a recruiting powerhouse. Because for a while there, South Carolina came into the state and got a couple pretty good players out of the state.
Yeah. I just hope the odds makers are right. I hope it's a blowout and we just have a great day in Athens.
We can breathe.
Friday, like I said, you've been my color man for 4 years. I've enjoyed having you in the booth. It's a lot of fun. It'll be fun tonight in Camden County, one of the most historic places to call a game.
Yeah.
I told someone it's been a long time since I called a game. I've been to a lot of playoff games down in Camden County on the sidelines watching them. But it'll be fun to be back in the booth calling a game. And we played well against Camden last year. Should be a fun game again. Another defensive battle for the four.
Yeah, it's always fun to be able to go down there with all the tradition and how well they've played. And I was listening to a little bit to Coach Grooms coming in on your sports report, and I mean he's spot on. Is offensively, when we get opportunities tonight, we're going to have to capitalize on those. We're going to have to be able to be efficient on offense throughout. But when we get in the red zone, we got to come away with touchdowns. And if we can do that, there's no doubt that we can obviously play with Camden County or beat Camden County. We can beat anyone. I'm convinced of that. The talent level is there. But we've just got to, when you play a school like Camden, especially down there, you can't have missed opportunities. So I think that's what we're going to look for tonight, Bob.
The great thing about this non-region schedule, it did the same thing the last couple of years. It just gets you ready for the region schedule, which starts next week. And looking at the region, a little bit improved from last year. Thompson's rolling at 3-0. They're really running the ball extremely well up there. That's the big story. They're averaging like 400 yards on the ground per game. They're undefeated. Burke County is 3-1. They lost a team out of South Carolina, which is pretty good. So they're a little bit improved improved. The team that scared me that's really improved is Liberty County. Coach Warner's been over there now for several years. He's really done a good job, like Coach Grooms has, walking the hallways, getting kids out. They got that talented player, Sir Richard LeCount, who we saw last year, who's getting a lot of publicity. So
one of the top 10 juniors in the country.
So when you look at those three teams and us, and it's going to be a dogfight to see who wins that championship this year. But I'm looking forward to that trip to Thompson. And last time I went to Thompson, I tell people that was the coldest day of my life when Chad wasn't. I haven't been there in years, but betwixt the bricks, so that'll be fun going up there. That's historic facility as well.
Well, the region is tough. Thompson has a sophomore running back who's already gotten some SEC offers as a sophomore. You look at Burke. Burke went to Griffin and won 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Okay, that's no short order. Thompson's also beaten Washington County at the opener. I think you said Burke's got Washington County tonight. Washington County's state runner-up last year in AAA. No slouch by any means. So, the region, and whenever you play a team like Liberty County that's got one of the top 10 overall players in the country for his grade level, you're going to be in for a dogfight.
So every time we play, there was a dogfight. The last several years, it's been a very close ball game. So it'll be a good, but I'm looking forward to this. Getting ready, but tonight's going to be fun. So I've just enjoyed you. And I said, I joke all the time, you're my meal, and you get all the, you line up all the trips because I get lost on Cherry Street. Everybody knows that. So you're my GPS. I do know how to get to the stadium. Nancy,
do you know how to get to the stadium tonight? All right, that's because I do not. I haven't done that.
I've been here like I said, once I go, that's the good thing. If I get there one time, I remember how to get back. See.
Okay. I'll let y'all know that tomorrow in Athens is supposed to be sunny, high of 89.
That's
a little warm.
A little warm for football there in Sanford City.
Kickoff 6 o'clock, so maybe it'll be.
6 will be starting to cool down. Yeah, because sunset will be about 7 something. So yeah, sunny tomorrow. All right, so that's good. What it says right there.
Hey, no chance. There's not like a 5% chance of rain because
of
my
0
luck.
for today, 0 for tomorrow.
That's good. 0's good.
And 40. And 0 on Sunday.
What's the weather forecast? I know it's 30% chance of showers tonight, Butch.
Where, here?
In Kingsland?
Yeah.
Or well, this area?
Oh, well, it's 30% chance of showers today, partly cloudy tonight.
Okay. As long as there's no lightning, Bob, the dreaded lightning detector.
Yeah.
Bob does not like that. If Bob sees someone with one of those lightning detector, he's just, he gets angry. He gets angry. So
I want Jonathan to find the person who invented that so I can find that person and ask him what he was thinking.
What were you thinking?
But
I just don't trust them. I don't think they know what they're talking about.
You don't, huh?
Bob, what'd you think of the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday?
I was disappointed. I thought they'd play a lot. That was a game you have to win.
Yeah.
You're at home. It's the home opener. Bortles is coming for a second, but they just offensively they just couldn't do much. They just didn't play well. A lot of drop passes, but they lost Robinson early in the game. He got injured. All those talented players that were supposed to be there for Bortles, they either got kicked off the team for drug violations or they're hurt. So he doesn't have the receiving core that when you first looked at the season going in. And losing Dante Flower. First
defense played well though.
But it's just amazing me how I haven't done it yet, but I'm getting this close. I want to ask Gus Bradley, does he ever get mad? I just don't ever see him mad. He comes in, he's always happy-go-lucky. He's always looking at the positive side of things. I want him to get mad one time.
Well, Bob, the way they've been playing the last couple of years, if he got mad at that, he would never be happy. So I guess.
But I think sometimes players need kicks in the butt, and somebody needs to go in there and just start throwing things and getting their attention. But he's just always happy-go-lucky.
The Jaguars are doing the right thing. So they've drafted well. They're trying to put the pieces together.
I was looking through my Sports Illustrated. They did the NFL preseason edition, and they got they go through the whole schedule for everybody and predict how many games they're going to win. They only had Jacksonville winning 3 games. I hope that's not the case.
I hope not.
It'll be a long season. I hope a long season if they don't do that.
I was reading somewhere that the Houston Astros were bad for a long time, and they drafted well, and they had that article in Sports Illustrated about how the Astros have drafted well and created their farm system, and now you see that even though they've lost 4 in a row, I think in their out of first place, they really come out of nowhere. They lost 100 games last year. They're going to win 85 and 90 this year. Huge turnaround. And I was reading an article that talked about how the Jaguars are very, very similar in how they're building their pieces and how they're building their talent. I'm like you. I was kind of thought maybe they would be a little further ahead, but again, it's one game. But I know you were real happy to see Cam Newton get out there with the win, Bob.
Yeah, that wasn't too good. But I'll tell you what I did enjoy. I enjoyed having a conversation with T.J. Yoden, the running back out of Alabama.
He's going to be a good player.
Class kid. Very class. Just fun to talk to. Typical Alabama comes to the. What I liked about him, he said, "Look, I'm prepared for NFL because Saban gets people ready for the NFL." That's what I asked him what he liked about Saban. He said, Alabama's practices are just like pro practices. He said there was nothing new when he walked in his first pro practice. He was totally prepared to, have the practice, and nothing at Jacksonville was any harder than what took place at Alabama. So he said he was ready and prepared. And
well, you look at you look at the SEC in general. I mean, there's the amount of football players on NFL rosters that played at SEC schools is far and away greater than any other conference.
Well, always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
The hospitals do well. Like I say, you see a lot of small hospitals closing down. It's nice to see way more hospitals thriving this time. So, glad to have it here. And is a big part of the community. How many employees at the hospital?
Over 400 employees now with our home health division. But again, Bob, it's amazing when people work together. Our physicians, our staff, our volunteers, board of directors, when everyone's working together for a common goal. It's amazing what happens.
Okay, we'll work on dinner plans tonight.
I'll take care of it.
All right, good luck, guys, tonight.
Thank you.
Calling the Wayne County, Camden County game, and all the coverage will begin at 5:30 this afternoon. They'll be on the air starting at 7 o'clock with the pregame kickoff at 7:30. Get on down there to Camden and support the Jackets. If you can't make it, you can hear it right here on 105.5 FM. On your computer on the website there at bigdogcountry.com. Just click on the game and listen. And then also on your smartphone, you can download that free app we have now, Big Dog, WIFO, and download it to your smartphone there. And you can listen to the game tonight also on your smartphone.